Hey everybody, welcome to the Ronline Report. Today I'm talking to one of my favorite people in this industry. It's been a few months, the Boston Mass, Jose Raymond. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. How you doing, buddy?
Doing well. I'm doing well with my 3 dumbbells and a couple rubber bands, but we do what we
Nice.
can. What do you got for equipment there?
I got nothing. I got a treadmill. That's about it.
Wow, damn. Now, what does your brother have out in LA?
He's got everything.
Damn.
He fixed his garage up slowly over the last few years, where he's got 2 squat racks, he's got 2 rowing machines, 2 assault bikes, a bench.
2 squat racks. Come on.
Yeah. He's got bumper plates. He's got everything you could possibly need.
Okay. I think Matt Puglia is training at some garage that has friggin' hammer strength machines.
Yeah. They get the belt squat and
Must be quite a freaking garage. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
yeah. A lot of people have been doing that over the years.
Kicking myself in the ass now for not
I know.
gathering. I don't have the room anyway, so no, I really don't. I don't feel bad. It's not like I could have done it and didn't do it.
Neither do I. But it's something to think about moving forward because I have a feeling this won't be the last time.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope it is the last time. But I think you're right. So I brought you on because there's a lot of talk about the 212 division and the future of it, and you are one of the founding fathers. You're on that Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
And did we ever nail down the Mount Rushmore? This is what I got. I got 3 out of the 4 solid.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got Flex Lewis, we got you, we got David Henry. Who would you put as the 4th guy on that Mount Rushmore for the 212 division?
Well, 212 or 202,
See, that's the thing. Kevin English.
they all come hand in hand
Yeah.
because most of the guys that ended up being 212 were 202, especially the earlier guys.
Yeah.
You know, I would definitely put Kevin in there. I would put Eduardo Correa in there.
We only got room for 4 faces, though. So
Yeah.
let's keep you. Sorry, Eduardo.
I'm the wrong person to ask then.
I know. All right. So I think it was Nick Trigilli did a video. He was talking about it seems like there are signs that the 212 division might go away. And, it's flimsy evidence at best, but, we got to give all the conspiracy theories a little bit of credence. So one thing he pointed out was the Arnold Classic getting rid of 212 division after 2018, which was not a good sign. And, the reason they said was we weren't getting a lot of interest from the 212 pros. But, I mean, what's your take on that? Because we've had a while to process that now, since it's been a while since they got rid of that. Do you think will it ever come back, or are they done?
Well, after you mentioned that to me, I went and watched his video, and his reasoning behind them getting rid of it, or I don't agree with. He mentioned that it was because of Kamal. It had something to do with Kamal. And he kept saying it was Kamal's fault, and
Yes,
Kamal
it's all
doesn't
Kamal's
do
fault.
enough. And I tend to totally disagree with that.
Well, let's back up because I don't want Kamal thrown under the bus like he was in that video. Because
Yeah.
one thing he said that immediately I said, "Oh, come on, Nick, come on." He said that he thought they stopped having 212 at the Arnold because of Kamal's controversies with the IFBB and Rafael Santoja. I'm like, dude, come on. You think they would get rid of a whole division of their contest based on one competitor having, that was just completely ridiculous. But go on. What was his deal with Kamal, as far as you could tell?
Yeah, that's what he kept bringing up. He mentioned that he doesn't do a lot of social media, which he's got 3 or 4 kids. He's older. Social media may not be his forte, but he doesn't live here in the States. There are no competitions, aside from the Arnold.
Yeah.
There wasn't many opportunities for him to make appearances and things like that. So this is a very different times we're in right now. And if social media is not your forte, no, then you're not gonna see someone like Kamal, all over the place.
Yeah.
I think Kamal's a great guy, a great family man, and a gentleman, and I think he would do great representing the sport, especially internationally in the Arab speaking countries and
Right.
where bodybuilding is huge. So
Yeah.
I think he's a lot bigger over there than Nick might think.
Absolutely.
He's just not huge over here. So regardless, I don't think that Kamal has anything to do with it. If anything, he kept mentioning Santoja. He was calling him Santoro.
Yes, yes. It's Santoja. Come on, guy.
Santoja is actually butting heads with Mannion, from what I understood. So
Right.
if anything, they would be more happy to show and to utilize Kamal.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I agreed with that necessarily, but I think the reason they got rid of it was because of the timing. The top guys, particularly Flex,
Yeah.
wasn't doing the show. He only
Mm.
did it once, and they held it 5 times,
Right.
and he wasn't doing it. And every other guy was. Me,
You did it, yeah.
David, and Askanani, and Hide, and a lot of good enough for me.
Right.
I just think the people who make the decisions on the invite list
Yeah.
were people slightly removed from bodybuilding.
Mm.
It wasn't like Steve Weinberger was making the decisions.
Right.
Um, I think it was people on the committee that don't really know, because there were some really good up and coming guys that applied that weren't allowed to compete.
Right.
Um,
Dude, just going back and saying, Kamal he's older, he's 48 or 49 at this point. So social media is not, he didn't grow up with all that like these younger guys did. But do you think there is some sort of, he has a responsibility because he is the champ, that he needs to get a stronger social media presence? He needs to be putting out videos and stuff. Because I mean, look at Flex. I know Flex is younger, Flex Lewis, but man, he's all over YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. He's like a social media powerhouse, that guy.
yeah,
He's everywhere. More so now that he's away from the 212 division. These last couple of years, he's been pumping out content like a monster.
yeah.
So like, I know you're not a big social media guy. You don't like to post every time you take a shit either.
Yeah.
But does he? He's the champ. He's the Olympia champ. Does he have a responsibility to do more of that?
Uh, when you say responsibility, no, he's got to be who he is. There's been, if this were back, if Lee Haney were around, would Lee Haney have been spending his time all day on Instagram, or Dorian Yates?
Dorian, no.
It,
No way.
it's just a newer time, a newer age, and I suppose you got to change with the times. But I think leave him alone. He do what he wants to do, show up and win. What more can you ask?
True.
Does he have a responsibility? No. Would it be a good idea for him to do a little bit more, just to promote himself and to help promote the division a little more? Yeah, it would probably be a good idea, but I don't think less or more of him, whether he did or didn't. I think the demise of the 212, or what people are saying, is just a general lack of competitiveness, of people competing. They're all like a Sean Clarita, like, I'm putting all my eggs into the Olympia, and there's 3 or 4 shows he could have done and won, and created more hype, been exposed to more fans, which would help the division, help grow the division. People need to compete more if they want the division to be more successful. You want to create more buzz, then you go out and win some shows.
I mean, let's be real. You were usually qualified for Olympia every year anyway.
Yeah,
Yet you still would do New York Pro or this and that. You would still do at least 2 or 3 other shows throughout the
I
season.
averaged 5 shows a year.
Yeah, and you didn't have to do that, obviously.
No, no, but to me, it was important. It was important, one, to compete, two, to get out and be exposed to all the different. Plus, I love to travel and meet all the fans all over the world. So it was awesome for me. And even when I did at the beginning of my career, I had to pay for all my expenses. I had to pay for my flights and hotels, and if I won $2,000, I didn't win anything, but it was still a great experience, which allowed me to get contracts and allowed me to, depending on the company I was with, maybe they would pay for a flight or a hotel here or there. And it wasn't until later on in my career where I established a name where the promoters would actually pay for it. So if a promoter was paying for a flight or a hotel, my ass was going, no matter what. So, I think these guys all need to compete more. You know, Guy is another one who was a great promoter of the division because he does a ton of social media and he competes a lot. And he still wants to win the Olympia, but he still gets out there and competes a ton. And he doesn't have to win. He doesn't have to be the Olympia winner to have a huge social media, a huge fan base. But he's another reason for the division doing well.
Did you see his rant on Instagram the other day?
He tagged me in it. I don't know if I got through the whole thing, but I get his gist of it.
Yeah, he was upset that some guys are still posting about how they're killing it in the gym and training real hard, and while a lot of us can't train at all. And I'm really not sure where he was going with that because I didn't watch the whole thing either, but I couldn't figure out who he was talking about exactly. Might have been Derek, might have been somebody else. It's hard to say. I don't know if it was anybody specific, to be honest with you. But,
we don't even have gyms around here that we can train at. So
no, we do not.
I'm killing it on the couch. I'm killing Netflix, going through everything.
What's the best thing you've seen on Netflix recently?
The Tiger King.
Tiger King. Did you watch the bonus episode that came out Sunday?
Yeah, I watched that.
Don't. I gotta watch that. And we're done with this. I gotta say this though: the 2018 Olympia was like the last time we had Flex up there, the last time we had you up there, and I personally do think it took a big blow. The 212 division took a big blow when both of you guys left at once because you both were obviously go way back. You were 202s. You were the guys that helped build that division for sure, and tremendously popular, Flex and you. To have both of you guys leave at the same time, I know you didn't. You don't owe it to the fans to compete till you're 90 years old or anything, and he didn't have to stay in the division. But I personally do believe that hurt. That was a blow to 212. Do you agree?
I absolutely agree. It's a different time though. Flex and I came up at a time where you created a presence even before you turned pro. Everyone knew who Flex was before he turned pro. Everyone knew who I was before I turned pro. So when we were on the pro stage, it was already exciting. And then we had these battles for 10 years. So that was exciting. A lot of these guys, they've been competing a while, but they're new. They're still relatively new. So people know about them, just recently through social media, but they didn't create this long drawn out rivalry.
Right. I talked about this with Lunsford because I said part of the reason why, you turned pro fast, Derek. I told him, I said, you did I think that was like his fourth show ever. He turned pro. And then he was fifth in the Olympia like a month later, 2 months later. Then he's second at the Olympia 2 years in a row. It's happening too fast with some of these guys where the fans don't have time to really build up that loyalty and that interest in any one particular athlete anymore, I don't think.
Yeah. There's a lot. When you looked at last year's Olympia top 5, you and I know who everyone is because that's what we do.
Yeah.
But in general, the average fan didn't really know who John Jewett was. Like, where did this guy come from? Holy cow. He was awesome, but it wasn't like a name, guy. Even Kamal, people that have been around a long time from Europe or that fall world championships, they knew who he was, but no one in the U.S. knew who he was.
Right.
So it was just like a bunch of guys that aren't, Lunsford's very popular. Sean Clarita's very popular, but it doesn't have a huge following that is built up over the course of 10, 12 years or something.
Yeah.
I don't think, it's less exciting than it was a few years ago, but I still think and I hope that there's going to be some excitement. There's some guys coming up. I don't think it's doomed like Nick Trigili was saying.
I mean, let's be. We got 2 guys from Classic moved into the division after last Olympia, George Peterson and Keon Pearson. I think they're both going to be very good.
Yeah.
I mean, people were saying, did you watch you were at the last Olympia, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you were there. Did you think George was good enough in third place at Classic where he could have even pushed Kamal if he had been a little fuller?
So let me take that back. I wasn't at the Olympia. I was at
Oh,
the Arnold.
right.
But do I think he can push Kamal? Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely. He's a little taller than Kamal, or significantly taller, maybe 2, 3 inches.
Oh, yeah.
Um, but George has an uncanny ability to look gigantic, even at 190.
Yeah.
Now imagine him. I have a feeling he's going to have trouble making 212.
Have you seen him lately? Whew.
I saw someone sent me Kirker sent me a picture of him,
Yeah.
and he looked nuts. Yeah, he could definitely step right in and win. Why not? His legs are good. He's perfect for 212. Especially if he looks 230.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be the dick here and make this argument. Like, why do we even need a 212 division anymore? And the reason I say that is because for years we had a lot of guys that were, 5'10, 5'11, 260, 280. It was a mass monster sport, the open bodybuilding for a while there. And now I don't see many guys like that anymore. You got Rami, you got Kuklo, but you got guys like Bonac who's 5'5". What does he weigh? Like 220, 225?
Yeah.
He's killing it. He won the Arnold. He's second at the Olympia. He'll probably be second again if he doesn't, if maybe even beat Brandon, assuming Phil doesn't come back or something. It just seems like the time is right for maybe to be. I'm not saying to get rid of a division. Any of the promoters or anybody, don't get mad at me. I'm just saying maybe we could see the guys, like yourself, like a Bonac, all one stage the way it used to be when we were kids and we were watching the pro shows. We had Labrat up there, Steve Brisbois, Momo Benaziza, Vince Comerford. We had Lee Priest. We had a ton of guys who were shorter and not as heavy, and they were consistently beating the other guys. And now we don't have all these 290-pound freak, whatever. We don't have as many mass monsters, as many taller guys. It just seems like it would be a better time for there to be one division now.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree?
I made this argument the other day on a different outlet, and right now you could make an argument that 2 or 3 of the best bodybuilders on earth are little guys, 212 or X212 guys. Between Flex Lewis, Hadi Chupin, and Bonac, those are 3 212 or former 212 guys.
Yep.
And you could. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they were 1, 2, 3 at the Olympia open.
Yeah.
So what I've been arguing for a while now is it should go down to 202 to really separate the divisions. So you have guys that are 218, 220 that are just way too big for 212. And then 202 is the perfect cutoff. I don't think they ever should have changed it. It just, it's 202 is the perfect weight for a middleweight, light heavyweight, or even a small heavyweight to be able to do it. Even a welterweight can come up, or a bantamweight like Clarita. I think 202 is the perfect cutoff. You start getting bigger than that, and that's what you have. You have Hadi Chupin, who could win any show. Flex Lewis. It wouldn't surprise me if he goes in and wins the Olympia this year.
Wow, yeah. I mean, it sounds crazy to say it like that, but it's not really that crazy at all when you really think about it.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, he's right there.
Yeah.
We argue about what weight he's going to be and all that, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to suck down to 212 anymore. Even if he's 218 to 220, somewhere in that range, just that little bit extra fullness with his condition, he's going to be nuts. He's going to look crazy up there.
Yeah. Well, him having a long off season, which will end up being something around 2 years.
Yeah.
He will have added significant muscle. He may not be 230 like people think, but if he's anywhere in the 220 to anywhere 220 or bigger, he's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah. Who's going to beat him, really, realistically? Who's going to beat him?
I don't know. I don't know anyone that'll have as much muscle per square inch, as much conditioned muscle, and be able to display it the way he does.
Right. Phil? If Phil came back and his midsection looked good, that's
the
only.
Could. Yeah, he definitely could beat him, but I don't. I don't see Phil competing right now.
Speaking of which, this leads us. We've talked enough about the division. Let's get to you. One main reason you retired was you were in tremendous pain with your hip. You weren't able to train the way you wanted to train anymore. You had the hip replaced, and I saw you on social media squatting and deadlifting again within a couple months. So I'm assuming everything feels fine again. Derek asked me, I can't remember if it was we were recording or not recording. Derek Lunsford, when we talked the other day, is Jose making a comeback? I said, I haven't heard anything, but I will ask him the next time I talk to him. So,
Yeah.
what do you think, Jose?
Well, I'm definitely going to make a comeback to training.
Okay.
And I don't have, you never know what your body's going to do. If for some reason I put together a couple good months of eating and training, and I'm in, pain free or somewhat pain free,
Yeah.
then I would consider it. But just the ups and downs lately. With this whole Corona thing, I haven't trained in 2 months. I haven't been able to do anything.
Yeah.
So, but I'm still 220. I dropped weight for a while there because I wasn't even bothering to eat.
Yeah.
Now I'm right around anywhere from 218 to 220 in the morning. So
Okay.
it's not like I've dropped a ton of muscle. I need some time to get in the rhythm, and you'll be the first I tell, Ron.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah.
what was your nickname at 5 years old? Bear?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you were never meant to be,
Bear paws.
you were never meant to be a skinny, fragile human being, I don't think.
No.
No.
I just got to be able to train pain free, and then it'll be fun again. And my right hip is hanging in there. I had the left one replaced. My right one is a little achy, but not where the left one was.
Okay.
Not yet. So I think I got a good year of training that I could get in to
Shoulder joints, how they doing?
Oh, they're rubbish.
Well,
Rubbish. Yeah.
but can you train? You can still train, right?
I could train. I just can't sleep after I train.
You know.
I found that since I haven't been able to train, my shoulders hurt more.
Really?
Yeah. If I was still training and they were tighter and fuller, then they wouldn't hurt quite as much. So I look forward to getting back to training my shoulders and so they'll feel better.
Do you think it might just be a blood flow thing because you haven't had the blood circulating around in there as much?
They're just loose. Like
Uh-huh.
I'm pretty sure I have both labrums are torn,
Mm.
and when the muscle was real tight and pumped, I didn't feel it quite as much. Now that I'm not all pumped up, it's a little more painful.
Let's see, you're 45 now, is that right?
Yep.
You started training at age 7 or 8?
Yeah, right around there.
Let's do the math. That's a lot of years of heavy lifting right there.
It's a long time. It's a long time.
And
But
you played football all the way through college, which will bang up anybody's shoulders for sure.
I wrestled. I played football. I, trained every day for the last 30 something years. So,
All right. Okay.
We'll see. Like I said, you'll be the first to know. You'll be able to tell if I'm blowing up. I'm in the 240s again. Then
but you won't. You don't post a lot on Instagram and stuff, so I might not know. And because I don't head up that way very often. But tell me, you'll let me know. I gotta take you at your word.
I will. Yeah.
All right. So 212 division. It's in no danger.
Well, I don't know. The powers that be, it's up to them. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. Last year, I heard certain shows weren't allowed to have a 212 division because, there wasn't enough open shows.
Wow.
So they wanted certain promoters to do open shows instead of 212. I don't know. So I certainly hope, because there was a lot of excitement. It was very competitive. And we need it. They're great bodybuilders.
Yeah. Well, we need it because these young kids like Derek and Zane Watson and Clarita, they still haven't really enjoyed that peak of fame that you and the guys like you and Eduardo and Dave Henry and Flex, you guys were there when the division was really roaring along and you know, I want these guys to experience that too. I want them to have their moment.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to, the Olympia is going to cut it. I really don't. I mean, they added women's bodybuilding back in. The Ms. Olympia is back. You know, I'm sure next year they'll have a wellness Olympia, unless they're not going to have it this year, right? But I mean, I can't see them getting rid of it. Not the Olympia. The Olympia will never do that.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, they don't have to pay him a lot of money, so what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Why not have it? There's a lot of fans. A lot of
Right.
fans want to see it, and if it don't cost you too much money, why would you get rid of it?
Yeah. I mean, the hall's already paid for, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh man. All right, cool. Well, Jose, I appreciate you taking the time during this crazy quarantine life we're all living right now. And
Yeah.
yeah, I knew you'd have some good insights into all that stuff. And whether you come back or not, your legacy will always be right up there. You're on that Mount Rushmore.
All right, brother. I appreciate it.
Cool, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate
You
it.
bet.
Everybody, thanks for watching Ronline Report with the Boston Mass. Jose Raymond. We'll see you next time.